You ever notice how some people just freeze up around you, like they cannot relax, cannot be themselves? Cannot be themselves, cannot even hold eye contact for more than a second before they look away like you caught them doing something wrong. It is not that you are scary. It is not that you are mean. But something about your presence makes them shrink, and most of the time you do not even realize it is happening. You are just existing, and they are over there calculating every word before they speak it, measuring every gesture. Every laugh sounds forced. Every interaction feels like they are walking on glass. That is intimidation. And it is invisible until you know what to look for. The first way to tell if someone is intimidated by you is the way they over-explain everything. Like you ask them a simple question, and suddenly they are giving you their entire life story as a defense. You say something casual like, "Why were you late?" and they launch into this 10-minute breakdown of traffic patterns and weather conditions, and how their alarm did not go off even though they set 3 backups. It is excessive, it is unnecessary, and it is rooted in fear. They think you are judging them harder than you actually are. They think every question is an interrogation, every silence is disappointment. So they fill the air with words. Anything to prove they are not failing in your eyes. Normal people just say traffic was bad and move on. Intimidated people turn it into a dissertation because they assume you are keeping score. They assume you see their flaws louder than their strengths, and that assumption makes them perform. They are not talking to you. They are defending themselves to the version of you they built in their head. The version that is harsher, more critical, more judgmental than you ever actually are. But they cannot see that. All they see is the gap between who they are and who they think you expect them to be. And that gap terrifies them. The second way is in their body language. Watch how they position themselves when you walk into a room. Do they straighten up? Do they adjust their posture like a soldier snapping to attention? Do they suddenly stop whatever casual thing they were doing and shift into this hyper-aware version of themselves? That is not respect. That is tension. Respect is calm. Respect is confident. Intimidation is rigid. It is the body bracing for impact even when no impact is coming. You see it in the shoulders, in the hands, in the way they hold their phone or their drink like it is a shield. Like if they just look busy enough or composed enough, you will not notice how uncomfortable they actually are. And then there is the eye contact thing. People who are intimidated by you cannot get it right. Either they avoid your eyes completely, like looking at you directly will expose them, or they hold eye contact too long in this weird aggressive way because someone told them that is what confident people do, but it does not feel natural. It feels like they are trying to prove something, like they are fighting their instincts to look away. You can feel the effort, the strain, the discomfort radiating off them even when they are trying to fake calm. Real comfort does not require effort. Real comfort is fluid. It breathes. It does not need to prove itself. But intimidation makes people stiff. It turns every glance into strategy, every gesture into calculation. The third way is how they agree with you too fast. You say something, and before you even finish the sentence, they are nodding. They are validating. They are co-signing your opinion like their life depends on it. And maybe you are right. Maybe what you said makes sense. But the speed of their agreement is not about truth. It is about safety. They are not agreeing because they genuinely see your point. They are agreeing because disagreeing feels dangerous. Because in their mind you hold power, and power is something you do not challenge. So they fold. They concede. They mirror your energy because standing firm in their own perspective feels too risky. It is easier to just go along, to nod and smile and pretend they were thinking the same thing all along. You see this in meetings, in conversations, in casual debates that should not even matter. Someone throws out an opinion, and the intimidated person immediately shifts to match it. Not because they are nihilists, not because they do not have thoughts of their own, but because the fear of conflict with you outweighs the need to be honest. They would rather betray their own perspective than risk your disapproval. And that is the core of intimidation. It is not about violence. It is not about aggression. It is about the silent weight someone feels when they think your judgment matters more than their own voice. Now here is the thing. If you are realizing that people act this way around you, it does not automatically make you a bad person. Intimidation is not always intentional. Sometimes it comes from competence, from confidence, from the fact that you have your life together in ways other people wish they did. You show up on time, you follow through. You do not make excuses. You hold yourself to a standard, and that standard becomes a mirror. When people look at you, they see everything they are not doing, everything they are avoiding, everything they keep telling themselves they will fix tomorrow. And that reflection makes them uncomfortable. So they flinch, they overcompensate. They try to prove they belong in your presence even when you never asked them to. But intimidation can also come from coldness, from a lack of warmth, from the fact that you do not smile enough or soften your edges or give people room to be imperfect around you. If every interaction feels like a test, then people will treat it like one. They will study for it, stress over it, try to pass it. And that is exhausting. That is not connection. That is performance. And performance kills authenticity. It turns relationships into transactions. It makes people afraid to be messy or confused or wrong in front of you because they think one mistake will cost them your respect. So if you recognize these signs in the people around you, maybe take a second to ask yourself why. Are you holding them to impossible standards? Are you making them feel like they have to earn the right to exist in your space? Are you cold where you could be kind? Are you distant where you could be present? Because intimidation is not a badge of honor. It is not proof that you are superior. It is just proof that people do not feel safe around you. And if that is the case, then maybe the work is not about making them tougher. Maybe the work is about making yourself more human, more approachable, more willing to let people be flawed without punishment. At the end of the day, intimidation is a wall. It keeps people out. It keeps you isolated. It makes every relationship feel like a performance instead of a partnership. And you can live that way if you want. You can be the person everyone respects but no one relaxes around. The person everyone admires from a distance but never gets close to. Or you can choose something different. You can choose to be strong without being cold, confident without being harsh, competent without being intimidating. You can be the kind of person people feel better around instead of smaller, the kind of person who lifts instead of looms, and that takes awareness. It takes intention. It takes the willingness to see how your energy lands on other people and adjust when necessary. Not because you are weak, but because connection matters more than dominance, because being feared is lonely, and being loved is free. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.